Good afternoon. I wanted to come on today and talk to you about more than just the physical capability we need to balance ourselves. When we have multiple sclerosis, we not only struggle with balancing ourselves or struggle with the physical complications of coordination, but we also need to learn to balance our life and our work. So, here are 10 strategies for success when it comes to women with multiple sclerosis who are trying to balance both their work life and their life. First is to prioritize self care. The reason why you want to prioritize self care is because it's hard for us to put ourselves first anyway. But when you prioritize such things as exercising or eating healthy or getting enough sleep, you are going to be better at being you. It's almost like when you're driving to work and once you get to work you're like, I don't even remember driving all that way. It's an automatic. When you prioritize yourself, you're making sure you get everything you need in order to be healthy, in order to maintain that strength about yourself, especially when it comes to exercise. Number two, make sure that you communicate with your employers. Now, this is twofold. You want to communicate with your employer, most likely your manager or your supervisor, but you also want to make sure you communicate with HR. If you're struggling with anything as far as accommodations or your flexible work schedule, you want to make sure you go through HR first because they're there to back you up. They are there to make sure that your boss, whether it be supervisor or manager, make sure you receive the accommodations that you deserve and that you're supposed to get by law. HR will make sure that you get that. So that is the second thing that you want to do when balancing work, life, and your home life. Number three, manage workload. Set yourself up for something realistic. Don't think that you can say yes to everything that comes along. Even when you're at work, make sure that you are setting yourself up for things that are a realistic workload. Section things out. Maybe you do some work in the morning, do some work after lunch. Choose what it is that you want to be where. I know for myself, it is hard for me to do work after lunch because I start to get a little tired. I'm not going to put the biggest part of my workload, I'm not going to keep it to do after lunch. Make sure that you manage that well so you can accomplish what you need to in the time frame that you have. Number four. Now, for those of you who are newly diagnosed and you're struggling with the different ways that you can section out your job and your work and your home life and all these different things that you had all of the time, but seems like it's taking more of your time to kind of decide what's to be priority, what is to be done when, who should have the opportunity to help you. Remember that you have technology on your side now. Utilize technology such as emails or video conferencing to work remotely and to stay connected with colleagues. If you are at a job that will allow you to work remotely, take advantage of that. My first inclination is to say you want to go into work because you don't want to isolate yourself more than you have to. But it depends on how much you're working remotely. It could be so helpful to be able to say, maybe I could do 3 days remotely and 2 days at work. Because remember, multiple sclerosis is an illness where you get fatigued a lot. Well, with that fatigue, you have to learn to manage the things that you have to do. And because we're talking about work home balance, you're going to have to be able to balance it so you don't have one side heavier than the other. And you're getting tired from going to work, getting, say, dinner, and coming home to make dinner. So those things can weigh you down so much that you feel the fatigue of MS even more, which is going to make you navigate life and go through things a little slower. That fatigue that we have with multiple sclerosis is heavy. It literally feels like we are dragging something along with us. Thank you for joining. Um, it is a tired feeling, but feels so much more like things are just weight is on us. So you want to make sure that you utilize the technology that you have. I always try to tell people, even if you do have to say, go to work, use technology. There are ways you can order off of apps. You can order from the computer what it is you will need at the grocery store. And ever since COVID, they have kind of kept that where you can make an order, a list of things that you want to order, let them know at the grocery store. They'll put it together for you. You can pay for it, and you let them know you're there, and they will wheel it out to you and pack up your car. This is perfection for anyone with multiple sclerosis because you can kind of decide what you're going to spend your energy on. So make sure that you do utilize technology. Create a routine. It kind of goes back to what I said about driving to work. And once you get there or anywhere you're driving to, and you're just like, I feel like it was automatic. When you create a routine, you are managing your MS symptoms and increase your productivity because you know that there are certain things that have to be done by a certain time of day. And this is something that you do every day. Every day, by the time it hits noon, I'm already up going out there to make sure that either breakfast is made or lunch is made. Sounds weird, but it really truly depends on how I feel on the fatigue. But my routine tells me that I have to eat by noon. I have to get up and out of this room by noon. And I know myself, I know I want protein in the morning or as close to morning as possible. So my routine is, yes, I'm getting lots of egg whites. And most likely, I thought I had it near me. I do have it near me. Look at that. So I'm getting my Premier protein and I'm getting my egg whites. I'm making sure every single day that I'm getting protein in me. Um, Delegate task. See, this one I smile about because I know that I delegate tasks more when my nieces and nephew are around. Love them. They're little people. They're like 3 and 4, and the oldest is 8, but they love helping their auntie. So it's easy for me to be able to reduce my workload and increase efficiency. So even when it's with something like laundry, and don't get me wrong, kids that age, especially the littles, they just want to help auntie. And I'm not putting so much on them that it's child labor, but it's easy to say, hey, can you carry this to the laundry room for auntie? And I might be giving them two shirts each, two shirts each to carry to laundry room for auntie. And depending on when that is, sometimes I just have a small load and it reminds me, you know what? You need to take care of this. And they're going to remind me that, hey, if I'm going here, you need to come with me so you can start your laundry. Um, to delegate also means that you're going to be reminded that something needs to be done. I can laugh about my nieces and nephew helping me, but I can also be honest with you all that this morning when I went to get my protein and my brunch, I took out my laundry basket or my hamper so I could wash laundry. No one's reminding me that I took out that basket and that it's still sitting by the laundry room because I have forgotten that I need to get it done. When they are here, they help me. I delegate different things to them, even if it's within my room. And they're like, Auntie, what else can I help you with? I'm sure it's the same for kids. Mom, you started me on this dinner, but you didn't tell me what the vegetable was with it. Delegate to people because they're going to help you and they're also going to help remind you where you have stopped and where you need to get to the finish line. Practice time management. Prioritize tasks and manage time effectively to ensure that work and life responsibilities are balanced. Time management, I'm not sure I know what that is, but I know what it is when I'm at work. I know exactly what that is, and that has to be mirrored at home. I know in order for me to get done with my day, I need to make sure that the responsibilities that are important or need to be done, that I prioritize them. So even if it is something where I have to write on the whiteboard, and I actually told my sister, who also has a chronic illness, she has sickle cell. And what I have told her is that she is going to probably, it's going to be better for her to put a whiteboard in her living room and make a list of the things that need to be done. When we make a list of the things that need to be done, when we are managing our time, we're starting with one. We're starting with one, two, three, probably going up through 10. You don't have to push yourself to get all 10 done. You can go ahead and knock that down to maybe 5. You're going to start that list and you're going to manage to make sure things get done by the priority because you're going to put one on that board first. This is my priority. I have to get this done before I get number 5 done. But just make sure you manage your time to be able to get each of those things done. If something's a priority, but it's that top load, not laundry, just that top weighted thing that needs to be done, give yourself 2 hours on that. Maybe you're giving yourself a half hour on number 4, but make sure you manage your time accordingly. Utilize resources such as support groups, counseling, or community resources to help manage MS symptoms and work life balance. Okay, to help you manage your MS symptoms, that's one thing. But sometimes you have to manage that work life balance so it doesn't mess with your MS symptoms. Let's be honest. I just came back from vacation yesterday. I told you guys that I prioritize making an appointment with my therapist after I come back from vacation. And I just had that appointment today. I utilize my resources because I know that I'm going to need to debrief or process whatever went on, because there are some things I take one way and others take another way. And when I get her input, usually she's asking me, why did you take it that way? Because I totally understand what they got out of it. Why did you see it that way? And it helps me to process exactly what I was feeling and what I was thinking at that time. You have to be willing to utilize resources, support groups, or people who are willing to help you, because you do want that work life there to be some balance in there. You don't want it to be completely off. You don't want it to be like this. And down here, you're only balancing life, and work is much, well, work would be here. If I say work is much heavier, you have to have a balance, because the people who love you and the people who are around you want to help, but also they deserve that part of you. You shouldn't have to give it all to work. And then number 9 is focus on your strengths and find ways to incorporate them into work responsibilities to increase job satisfaction and productivity. I am really good at communicating. I've always been that way, even when people are difficult to communicate with. I'm that person who can be an in between. So if I see that the supervisor is having a hard time with a coworker of mine, and I think that I can let them know, the supervisor, where the co-worker is coming from, or vice versa, let the co-worker know, I think you took that the wrong way. I know where my strengths lie. I know that I'm empathetic. I know that I see things from other people's standpoint, and I know I'm a good communicator. So those are the things I'm going to work with. If you're better at technology and you're always at the computer, being the one who can work through all of those apps, and you see someone next to you who's not able to do the same thing, work with them. Work with them and see how you can help them, especially if they're on the same team and you all need to finish something by a certain time. Make sure that you let them know, hey, I'm here if you need any assistance. Because to be honest, it's not only going to help them, but it's going to help you. You've focused on your strength, you feel positive about yourself, and the work gets done quicker. So, the last one, but definitely not least, and we talk about this a lot on this page, is practice self advocacy. Advocate for oneself in the workplace and communicate needs and concerns with your employers to ensure accommodations and support are provided. When I when I go to work, or when I was working, I was the only one in the building with multiple sclerosis. There isn't anyone else who can tell me what I need when it comes to MS. The only person who can tell someone in HR or your supervisor or a coworker what you need as far as MS is concerned is you, because MS is unique to each and every single one of us, is unique to what I'm going through, what my symptoms are. And I know that we talk a lot about inclusion and including people, and whether or not people are getting dealt the same hand that other people are. I have a hard time with inclusion because how are you going to include me like someone else and we don't even have the same symptoms? Oh, thank you, Ray. Why that Ree? Because when I said Ray, I was like, it's not Ray, it's Ree. Um, thank you for coming on. I hope you're picking up something from this because I really truly believe that the way to work and life balance is for us women to be open about what it is that we need. And then when we're open about what we need, please take the help. Believe me, I'm one who can say, please take the help because as my boyfriend said, he said, oh, you look like you want to do it all by yourself. You're independent. Go ahead and do it. I don't want to ask for help all the time. I want to know that I can do things for myself. But people are there so they can help. They're willing to help you. Ask for that help. Be willing to say yes because you want to be blessed to be a blessing. Let them be a blessing so that they're blessed as well. So I will talk to you guys soon. Be sure that you check back on this recording for ways that you can have a work-life balance even when you have MS. And hit replay if you catch this in the replay. I will be back. Talk to you guys later. Bye. Irie. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad that this has helped you because this makes me feel like I'm doing what God wants me to do. You know, when you need that purpose and you need to be reminded that you're here for a purpose, that is what it's telling me that I'm doing. So you take care. Bye.